My name is Brooke Abbott. I am a recent graduate of East Los Angeles College. I'm currently at UC Santa Barbara, and I'm a junior. For many, many, many reasons, young Black folks in general just have a certain willpower that I believe is generationally passed down from, you know, person to person, family member to family member, friend to friend. And that that spirit, that passion is needed in the organizational space, period. And when you start talking about Black workers and Black labor specifically, there is just an understanding of the Black experience that someone who is not Black may not understand. And so for those reasons, it is very important to have folks who identify as Black Americans or Black immigrants working in this labor movement. Things that we learned really had to do with the historical aspects, some of the facts that were kind of missing in some of the history lessons that you may have learned in, middle school or high school. So having that background, that information was so crucial because it gave more than perspective. It gave the information that you needed in order to move forward. And in order to help people, I think that you need to be educated, and educated in information that isn't readily available is super important. So I took a lot of the stories and the historical facts that we learned, and some of the opinions of some of the leaders that we had in the class, not just as fuel, but that has kind of helped me figure out where I can best be of service. Most people should always be prepared for the evolution of society. But right now we're seeing, inflation, we're seeing gas prices go up, we're seeing a lot of social justice movements, but we are also seeing a regression of some social justice movements because people are really fighting some of the basic needs that Black folks are in need of. So I think that, the best thing to do is to be prepared by being up on the current information, your local news, your national news, what's going on in your community, understanding what's happening in all forms of labor and in all industries, because they're all affecting other industries, and that in order to be able to help people and to give people the information that they need to advocate for themselves, it's important that that you have that proper information and that you have those connections. So staying educated, staying informed, staying flexible, because some of the organizational jobs are not as sexy as some of the ones that you may see on television, or what you may have thought organizing was about. So staying flexible is super important, and also taking breaks when you need it, because you want to stay passionate about the work. Organizing is something that is a calling, I think. This isn't something that you do from 9 to 5. This is something that you wake up thinking about, you go to bed thinking about. It's something that your whole family may be involved in. If you have a partner or children, or you're living with your parents, somehow you tend to wrangle all those folks in. And not that there isn't direction, but there isn't a guide. Organizing is the moment. It's what is needed at that moment in time. And it is important to take some of the information that we've learned before, or the facts that we know, or some of the resources that we've had before, but it's important to stay in the moment, because people's needs change and society changes, and you have to stay flexible and definitely move with that. So don't ever think that there's all the glory, or that it's cut and dry, or that there's a solution to every problem. And that's where it gets frustrating, because I love solutions. I want to fix things, but I may be in the wrong business, because you're not always going to have a quick, fast solution. It's almost like research. It's kind of a science. You know, you've got to keep working at it and keep working at it, and then finally one day you'll see some changes. And it may not be a huge change, it may be a small change, but celebrate every single victory, because you need that to keep going. By doing the work, by having, you know, your nieces and your nephews and your cousins and your children and your little neighbors involved. I am a non-traditional student, so I have a child. My child has been, at events with me since they were in the carrier. When I'm doing whatever it is, whether it's texting or sending out newsletters or whatever, I'm talking to him about what we're doing, why we're doing it, why it's important, and getting him involved. Making sure that the next generation understands that this work never ends and that it is important. And this may not be, my kid may not be an organizer, and that's fine, but at least he will have the idea that it's happening and the respect to be able to at least volunteer his time when he becomes an adult. But it also may spark some passion later down the line.